Quickly rush over to KZN. Of course, the two brothers arrested in Eswatini in a connection to the murders of both AKA and the celebrity chef and friend Tebello Tibz Motsoane are expected to return to South Africa today to face the law. Just very quickly, here's Athlenda Mate, police spokesperson.
Headlines in Eswatini started to announce the arrests, but we then the Eswatini Royal Police assisted us to arrest the suspects in Eswatini. And 2 days later, we rounded up 5 of the suspects in South Africa. So now we have a total of 7 suspects. I can confirm that a high-risk team has left South Africa. They're on their way to the King Motsoane International Airport, where they will be meeting with officers from Interpol, Eswatini, where the handing over will then take place between Interpol South Africa, our officers, and Interpol Mbambane. They will then escort the two brothers to South Africa. Only upon their arrival at the King Shaka International Airport will our Interpol officers then hand over to the lead investigator in this case, who will then execute a J50 warrant of arrest. You'll recall that the two brothers are wanted on 3 cases. The first one being the murder of a taxi boss in Motsoane in 2022. Where they're facing 5 charges on that case. The second case is then the murders of AKA and Tibz Motsoane, where they're facing 11 charges. The third case is the murder of a driver of a taxi boss, as well as the attempted murder of his wife. On that particular case, they are facing about 11 charges. So the lead investigator will execute the J50 warrant of arrest right here at the airport. He will place them under arrest officially in South Africa. He will then process them, take fingerprints, take the warning statements, obviously take them through informing them of their arrest, the reasons for their arrest, the charges that they're facing, and obviously give them, right of reply through their attorneys and so on, offer them legal representation and so on. Right after that, we will then proceed to a local station where they will be processed. Right after that, they will then be taken to court where they will appear before a magistrate.
We're expecting that to happen today?
Yeah, we're expecting it to happen this morning. As you've noted, that the extradition order and the surrender order that was sent to members of the SAPS is that they should be out of Eswatini this morning. So I can confirm that a high-risk team, you will know that it's a high-risk operation. I mean, we are dealing with contract killers, 2 men that get paid to kill people. I wouldn't want to call them professional hitmen, but that's the best way to put it. So it is a high-risk operation. We've got our specialized units on standby, and when they arrive, we'll then process them accordingly and take them to court.
You mentioned that it is a high-risk case or matter, but they have mentioned that they fear for their safety and security, specifically when you look at returning to South Africa.
I don't think they should fear for their safety. It's us who must ensure that they stay behind bars so they don't kill more people in South Africa. Like I've mentioned, 3 cases that we are positively linking them to. There could be other cases. Investigations are still ongoing. So it's them that we must make sure they don't ever see, daylight. We must make sure that they remain behind bars and they get to be convicted for the crimes that they've committed. And we strongly believe that one of the 2 brothers is the one that actually pulled the trigger that killed AKA. You'll recall that we do have the firearm that killed AKA, but we are still searching for the firearm that killed Tibz. So we've got overwhelming evidence that places them on the crime scene of all these cases that I've mentioned. So it's us, actually, the communities that must fear them, not them fear for their lives, because we know that they are contract killers, they are professional hitmen, and we are dealing with dangerous and callous criminals. And that is why we have put a high-risk operational plan in place to ensure that we leave nothing to chance.
On the AKA matter, Athlenda, are we expecting further arrest, or these 2 will just sum up the list in terms of the suspects?
Yeah, we do believe that at this stage we have rounded up all the suspects. You recall I did say they are the first two that were arrested in Eswatini, and then 2 days later, after those arrests in Eswatini, we then rounded up the 5 suspects. So it's a total of 7 suspects that we have in the AKA and Tibz Motsoane case. And I think on behalf of the National Commissioner, we take this opportunity to really firstly thank the province of KZN, led by Lieutenant General Ndlovu, who put in the resources, worked tirelessly on this particular case. We thank the office of the DPP in KZN, who have been very supportive. They've been working closely with us in this particular case. They've assisted us up until this moment. We thank also the NPA. But most importantly, we thank the Eswatini authorities that when we made the call and we informed them that there are these killers in Eswatini hiding and that they are involved in a number of murder cases in South Africa, they did not hesitate to assist us. They then obviously apprehended them, and up until now they've had them in custody.
Of course, you've mentioned that, or rather we know that there's been quite a number of delays when you're looking at the extradition process. Just speak to us about those delays. But also, perhaps just to go into whether you do have any other proof or evidence. I mean, you're mentioning that you do have one of the firearms when you're looking at this murder case. But any other evidence at this point that you're able to share with us?
Well, I'm not going to go into the delays because obviously the accused and suspects will utilize delaying tactics. They will change lawyers. They will do so and so on. But what is important is that we did not give up. We ensured that we bring them back to the country and so on. So we are quite confident that we've got overwhelming evidence that places them on the crime scene in that particular evening on the 10th of February 2023 when AKA and Tibz were murdered.
What time are we expecting them to arrive?
Well, the time, we won't mention the time because it's a high-risk operation, but as soon as they arrive, you will be alerted.
I think just the last one on my side. How important was it for them to actually be extradited, particularly when you're looking at the quest for justice, not just for the victims themselves, but also for the families involved?
So it's quite important that we provide closure to the families that remain behind, whose kids have died under these circumstances. So our main goal was to provide closure to families and to ensure that justice is served for the victims that have died. So that was our main priority and goal.
Thank you very much for your time this morning. That's Brigadier Athlenda Matsi. They're speaking to us about what's set to transpire here at King Shaka International Airport. We know, of course, that those 2 suspects will be landing this morning. There's no certainty as yet in terms of what time they will arrive, but we were told that it could possibly be before 10 a.m.
All right, Silethiwe, thank you so much for bringing us that interview, an important one to understand the context, understand exactly where they stand, and the process that will be followed from here in out of the King Shaka International Airport.